I make a motion that we direct staff to take any open legal avenue to pursue the recapture of any dollar owed the IRS for the penalty they recently handed down for the year 2012.
That's what next meeting.
Well, it
So
says
that's a-
discussion and potential direction. That's why I asked that it be advertised with the title potential direction, because we might give direction to staff. I'd like us to give that direction to staff tonight. I hope there might be 3 votes.
Second your motion.
Well, because of all the conflicting information that I'm getting tonight, and again, this is a very convoluted issue. We are getting new information that was not known to me prior to coming tonight. I feel very lost. To be honest with you, I hear versions of $14,000 worth of fines on the part of the city for failing to act. So why did IRS decide not to go after these individuals one by one? I do not know. And why did IRS choose not to report this to any other authority? I do not know. So I don't feel comfortable voting on this item tonight until I get more information, until I get more educated by the finance director and other people who are involved in this process.
And Mr. Mayor, and the problem now is not like we want or we don't want to vote on. We don't know how much money is the penalty. Every day we get audited by IRS. When we appeal, we send the proper document. That's when they make the final decision. As of right now, of course, they send us a bill for $34,000. But from what I understand, what you're doing now is putting documents together to appeal that decision. Then you're going to get a final decision from the IRS. That's when you're going to know exactly how much money the fine going to be. If we don't know how much the fine going to be, I don't see why we should vote tonight on what.
What makes you think? I mean, we had the chance to do that, and then we didn't, and now then the IRS sent us the fine. What makes you think they're going to now? How old is that letter now? That's April.
April.
3 months later, going on 3 months later. Why would they now accept documentation?
It's if there is a charge, there's an appeal process that's available for everyone, and I think it's available for us.
Do you know it? Have you spoken to the IRS? Does the IRS know you're going to be submitting additional documentation?
No, they do not.
Okay, so do we know the IRS is even going to accept it? I mean, they gave us the
No, we do
opportunity.
not.
We don't know that they're even going to accept it.
Don't know if they're even going to
So,
accept it at this
so we're
stage.
creating our own appeal period now. We had their appeal period, they issued the fine, and so we're creating a second appeal to submit additional documentation. I mean,
Why don't you
Why
do
didn't
that?
we submit the
Mr. Strauss.
documentation initially? That's the question.
I totally agree. Why wasn't the documentation submitted initially? It wasn't, so a fine was issued. And now we're allowing people to go back and find some sort of, now you could have saved all this discussion and pulled me aside, and I was here for 2 days last week. Nobody took the time to say, hey, Galvin, here's what we're doing. I met with each and every department head on constituent issues. Nobody ever took the time to tell me about this. So you expect me to not be suspicious of things we're allowing people to hand in 3 years after their trip?
Mr. Lafleur, is there any way you can find out from IRS, contact them either tomorrow or sometime during this week, and inquire as to whether or not we still have the opportunity to appeal,
Yes,
and
sir.
what is the process?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, I'm not the one to really give you that because
I've
it's the
already,
manager that I,
through the mayor, I've already contacted him this afternoon, and I'm waiting on a response from him concerning this matter because when I heard about the appeal and added information, I called IRS myself to get the additional information. And I am talking to Fernando Echeverria, who is the auditor who is dealing with the case, and I'll get you the information by the next meeting, whether we can appeal or not. I've placed a call into him this afternoon at 5 o'clock, and I will get the information. to
Aline,
you.
I asked that this be on the agenda an easy 7 to 10 days ago. Why wouldn't you have made that call then? Why would you make that call today and let this be the mess that it is?
Okay.
To clarify, I understand and I found out about the information yesterday from the finance department about the appeal process. I've actually spoken to our tax consultant, who is working on it with me as well. So, again, was information that I've found out that, or insufficient information we didn't provide. And I'm sorry if that's how it came across. But from what I heard from the finance department, we did not provide, we provided the information that we had on file.
But doesn't it ring false to you that a staff member, obviously, who got caught, for lack of a better term,
Yes.
would have certainly run around and grab whatever evidence they can to try to prove their innocence?
Yes.
Of course. But they had the opportunity to do that when the IRS investigation was
correct.
ongoing and we were
Well,
originally asked.
I don't, based on my Inspector Gadget hat yesterday at the staff meeting, this is when I learned about all of this. I don't know, and this is something that some staff can help us. I don't know that this information was not already produced. I was under the understanding that some of these documents were already in the files. You know, part of the process when someone travels is they have to do what you said, come back and produce those documents. My understanding is that some of that was already in the files and they were not produced to the IRS. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I've gleaned from the conversations that I've had.
Okay. You want to go ahead?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, through the mayor, Scott, Councilman Galvin, I do understand your frustration. I mean, I'm frustrated just coming on, asking questions that I don't have most of the answers to. For example, 6/19, I sent an email regarding Sasso Pool. I'm still waiting on a response regarding when that will be open, because I understand we have situations, and this is being one, and we have stuff, especially within my district, that's priority. I mean, it may not be priority to us, but to the citizens in my area, it is. My only, I guess, concern with this particular item is that just newly being elected, I'm not trying to go, it seems to me that there are specific stuff that we need to go after that's not being, I'm just finding out a lot of these things right now, and I do not feel comfortable moving forward unless I have full facts. Who are these people? Why was this in place? My thing is moving forward. Do we have something in place? I know Councilwoman Keys had an item that was, part of this to resolve some of these issues last meeting. I'm more into moving forward. I am not feeling comfortable.
In the same line of moving forward, Mr. Councilman, what I wanted to do is to make a motion to give Mr. Manager the time to really act on this and come up with the necessary data that he may have, uncovered or discovered through our finance director. And then we can revisit this next meeting, because we just pretty much spinning our wheels. We're just blowing a lot of hot steam here, and it's already hot in here. So
I just want to say on the record in closing that my faith in this administration
but you don't have to
is almost irreparably harmed. I can't say any stronger that I've lost faith in both my city manager and my city attorney, for the very least, never having informed me of what you discovered in staff meeting today or in any point in the last week.
Mr. Clerk?
I mean,
I've withdrawn any motion. I'm done beating my head against this wall for tonight, but I'm going to be back on it.
Okay. So you got till next week. Well, before we go further to Citizens Forum, I have one discussion that I wanted to bring on. That is we've been going for about 3 to 4 months now, and we have a city manager, without a contract. Her contract elapsed back in March, and she's been on a month-to-month basis. City attorney. So I want to know, I want to be able to have a short discussion on this tonight to see how we're gonna proceed with the employment status. Whether we're going to renew, to come up with a new contract, or whether we're going to open the position. That's what I would like to discuss tonight before we close.
Okay. I'm ready to make a motion if somebody else doesn't. I'd move we terminate the existing attorney's contract and put it out for bid to an open bid, appointing the deputy city manager as the deputy city attorney as the current city attorney.
Are we open for discussions?
No, if nobody's second.
He made the
Oh,
motion.
no.
Can you make the motion?
I would second it for discussion.
The motion was made by Councilman Galvin, and the motion is to terminate, to terminate the MUD contract with the city attorney's office, reopen it out for a bid, and appoint our deputy city attorney as our interim city attorney. That's the motion I have from Councilman Galvin, and it was seconded by Councilwoman Vice Mayor Keys. I guess discussion.
Do we need
Discussion.
public, do we need public hearing on that?
Well, we didn't have public discussion under my item, so you brought it forward though. I'm interested to hear if this is where you wanted to go with it or not. I'm hot right now. So, excuse me.
Yeah, but if we're gonna vote on it, we still have to hear the public. So we didn't have to vote on yours.
Mine was a discussion item that didn't get public hearing. If this you want to be a discussion item that you want public, whatever your preference is, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I'll take 4 opinions from the public.
Well, you have to take anybody who wants to talk, even if
Yeah,
it's all or no.
whoever, yeah.
Okay, public hearing is now open.
Ria Carr. I live at 1250 Northeast 125th Street, and I'm here to bring up the Spot Masters issue.
We are discussing the city attorney's position right now.
I'm sorry?
We are discussing another agenda item.
Okay,
We're not there yet.
We are not there yet.
okay, sorry. I got a little excited.
Okay, public hearing is now closed.
Let's,
We're not discussing Spotmaster now.
If that is,
No.
because
No,
I
it doesn't.
totally agree with Mr. Galvin all the way. It's not that, okay.
All right.
But we have a voice. Everybody wants to say the same, I believe.
Okay, if we don't have any more discussion, Mr. Clerk, we can take a vote.
Howard Tonkin, 12600 Griffin Boulevard. Not with great specificity to our city attorney, but I'm speechless in what we've seen here tonight. I was really thinking we're like the city on the move, and y'all are just rolling around in it, man.
Mr. Clerk?
Motion was made by Councilman Galvin.
wait.
Go ahead.
Carol Prager, 2509 Northeast 135th Street. I did not know that we had a month-to-month agreement.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying, Mr. Galvin? We have a month-to-month agreement? I didn't know that. I don't think a lot of people in the audience know that either. So that's confusing. I will say this, as gently as I can. It comes as no surprise, I'm sure, to all 5 of you. There is a real lack of confidence in the administration throughout the board in the city. It wasn't created by one individual. It happened over the course of the last 4 years. It's difficult for citizens to get answers, clear answers, responses. We're spoken down to. We're ignored. We're dismissed. I'm very unaccustomed to that. I'd like very much for my city to put out a bid and see who might want to come here. We have a very bright future. There's a lot that's going to happen in this city, and there might be a whole lot of people who'd be interested in coming here. So I think in the interest of the citizens, why not? It's not a personal thing. Why not? We haven't done it in a long time. Maybe it's time to do it again.
Okay, public hearing is now closed. Mr. Clerk, if there is no more discussion on the dais.
Motion was made by Councilman Galvin. It was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. Councilman Galvin?
Yes.
Councilwoman Vice Mayor Keys?
Yes.
Mayor Joseph?
Yes.
Councilman Desume?
Yes.
Councilman Bieneme?
No.
Okay, so the motion to terminate the month-to-month agreement with the city attorney and to appoint Deputy City Attorney Roland Galdos as the interim city attorney has been approved 4-1 by the council.
Citizen forum is now open.
Is there a time limit? Do you want me to leave right away? How do you want to transition?
Certainly, I think it would be fair, you've dismissed more people lately than we have, but I certainly am not looking to run her out of the city hall like has been alleged in the past. Whatever is a fair way to allow for repossession of keys to city hall and then her ability to come in and collect personal effects, certainly in accordance with what we might have afforded other city personnel in recent times.
Are we looking at 30 days or 15 days or,
Now.
well, can we,
Now,
No.
No.
We are.
No.
It's a month to month. Today is the 24th.
Yeah.
It has to go at least through the end of the month.
okay, if you want to say the end of the month, I'm open to that, but I don't think that access to documentation should be allowed during that week's period of time for the sake of city document safety, how I should phrase it.
Okay.
You want to say hand in the keys tonight as she leaves the building? That's fine with me.
I don't think that's the appropriate way to do it. But we can.
How do we keep somebody from wiping documentation clean off the computer or something like that in the next week? And if that's not a concern of yours, then I understand.
well, professionally, I don't think that's the proper way, but what is do we have a couple days to go ahead and do so?
There's in the past, we always have backup information. I always have IT backup everything.
Okay.
So there's ways means to cover it. So I will make sure we have everything backed up.
Mr. Mayor, through you to the clerk, does our city manager also have a month-to-month contract, or does he have an existing contract?
No, Mayor, he does not. He is still with us for at least a year and a half, hopefully for a long time. Okay. All right.
Citizen forum, she's already there.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125th Street. I stand today to ask you to please fund, since you're so generous, the rehabilitation of the Sasso pool. The decks are cracked and broken. The tot lot, which yesterday was the first day of summer, hasn't been working for an entire year. And the filtration system there is a health hazard. It's a health hazard. Your immediate attention is needed at the dire situation that's occurring at the Sasso pool. And I stand today to ask you to please act expeditiously in solving this problem. Thank you.
Mr. Manager, I don't think. you
Yes,
have
I can address it. Actually, money is allocated already. The parts have been ordered. It's going to take 2 weeks from what I've been informed by my parks manager. So within 2 weeks, the pool should be fixed.
2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
I
perfect.
just, this is, I mean, I've driven. I'm gonna speak on your behalf. I'm gonna speak on your behalf, please. I've driven around Sasso Pools, I've gone into it, and believe me, it is looking very, 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 very bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. Okay? So we have, how did it get to that point before I got elected? I don't know. Okay? If we have a pool there, we have kids who live in that area. We have summer coming when we're supposed to be having summer programs for the kids to have a place to go. It is, I just don't know what else to say. We've been spending a lot of money and a lot of other projects.
Yes.
And we should not be neglecting certain areas while we are pumping a lot of money in some other areas. So please, Mr. Manager, along with the budget director, I don't care about what parts are coming. Tomorrow, I want you to please take a drive there.
I will go there and look at it myself.
Well,
Tomorrow,
Well,
please take a drive there and see where we can get money to allocate to do something with that. With that area, it is bad.
The parts for the pool has already
Not
been
just
ordered.
parts. It needs more than just parts.
Okay.
I know it's late, but let's
Okay.
talk about Sasso Pool sometime.
Okay.
but Aleem, Mr. City
Yeah,
Manager,
yeah.
excuse me, Mr. Mayor, Mr. City Manager, the first item when I met with you, I discussed was that item.
Yes.
And I think you could have clarified and told this, Mr. Mayor, that you did discuss that with me. And Ms. Alston, that was my priority. He told me that, in fact, he had the budget manager on the phone with me that same day.
Exactly.
I asked staff a week later to send him an email, which was sent on 6/19. So I don't want you to come here and think that things are not being done. It's just not being said. But through the city manager, he made the call through budget, and it was in the lump sum of 30-something thousand. And I relayed the message to Ms. Brown, so we are working on it. And I was told that it was going to be done.
$30,000 would only be patching it up, Alex.
Well, no, this is for the tot lot. That's the concern. The tot lot, and that was the priority that we had. And my concern was the tot lot. And I'm still waiting back on my response.
Right.
Yes.
There's $40,000 allocated to take care of
Okay,
everything.
exactly. Thank you.
We have already talked the budget. The money was allocated. Councilman Galvin already had it on his list. Councilman Desume
Yes.
talked to me. The mayor talked to me about it. The money is allocated. The parts have been ordered. It will be done. The pool will be functioning in
Who's
2
first?
weeks.
I lost track. Ms. Philip or?
I am. Thank you. Rosalind Philippe, 12205 Northeast Miami Court. I'm not going to go into anything specific because I know other residents, they often talk about it. I just want an overall because sometimes when I sit in the audience or when I sit at home, I get tired of when I hear the members, our council members, they say, well, I didn't know, I didn't. I think we need to start looking at how we operate. We've got to look at processes that are put into place. All of these things with the fines and that all these other things. When the gentleman made his presentation and he mentioned some, I took notes here, monitoring to our sub-recipients that are not being done. These are things that we don't need to wait for someone to come with a report. I think we should look at the council. I know it's a mayor council. I'm not asking for the council to go and try to run the day-to-day operation, but I think you need to look at it as a board and start taking ownership of, like committees, whether you be involved with I don't know, finance and parks and each person may have one or two department so that you know what is going on. Because I don't think coming here every 2 weeks and just getting the package, reading it, you're not getting the whole picture. You know, and you've got to think out of the box and start looking at other ways and making sure that there are processes put in place. Mr. Ghani, you've lost a lot of people recently. I don't know. Do you have an exit interview form on file? Or if people are honest, then you need to go back and look at that and see what is it that we're doing wrong so that people are leaving. And I'm glad that Scott came back in. You know, what happened tonight, I don't have one way or the other of how this was handled in terms of your decision with the city attorney, but I think it could have been handled differently because me sitting right here, I mean, my work is done. I mean, she's sitting there, I applaud her. I would pick up my, you know, and leave. We have to think of ways to do things, and, you know, that's just my piece.
Hello, my name is Ria Carr. I live at 1250 Northeast 125th Street, and I just wanted to talk about the Spot Masters issue. I live less than 100 feet from Spot Masters. This past Father's Day, they were operating 24/7 as they always do, as they do on every other holiday. I'm just asking you, please think about this whole Spot Masters issue, because another holiday season is coming around, and they operate every holiday, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I don't think it's right. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Thank you.
Carol Prager, 2509 Northeast 135th Street. My sole purpose this evening was to come here for Citizens Forum because I had a list of items I wanted to discuss. And now actually I don't want to. I just have a simple question. This man can only do so much. It seems that every single complaint and concern that every citizen in this city has goes to Mr. Ghani's desk. And then Mr. Ghani's got to figure out how to disseminate all of those things. So, I'm asking, since we did such a undelicate thing this evening, but I've seen it done before, a lot more brutally. Why don't we have a deputy city manager? I'm accustomed to that. I'm accustomed to having a deputy city manager who is experienced, knowledgeable, that facilitated stuff that I could call, because the serious business of the city, the incredibly critical, serious business of the city, should be taking place at his office. And he overrides and oversees everyone. So my question is, to everyone sitting up there, including my manager, when are we going to have a deputy city manager so that I don't have to come here with a list of things that I need in my neighborhood?
Please refrain from clapping. Trying to finish up. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, good evening. My name is Alina Medina, and I live at 1270 Northeast 124th Street. And I am also here because of Spot Masters. And I want to say that there was a hearing held where all the tickets given for violation were grouped into one, and only one photocopy presented about a truck backing up and dismissed, even though they continue doing day and night the noise, the chemicals that we smell. It is outrageous what was going on and what happened in that hearing. That is outrageous. And I want everybody here to know, and you, Mr. Mayor, if you can pass by there at 1 or 2 and you can see that what we live under, it is an embarrassment to have somebody come to my house and hear that and smell those chemicals. So I just want to make you conscious of that. And if you yourself can come by and, view that and do whatever you can to get this forward, as I know that the city manager is doing what he can do, and we need you to please also help us to go forward with this. Thank you.
Judy Brown,
I'm
11.
sorry. This is the second or third person who come and talk about the spot master. You can have a seat. I'm just gonna. It's okay. You can have a seat.
All right.
Mr. Manager, I just want you to bring a brief, just 1 minute, as to how we've been approaching Spotmaster and what was the last conversation that I had with you, as recently as today. Don't make it too long. Don't make it too long, please.
The last conversation we had was to actually meet with the business owner and see what could be done to remedy some of the violations that he has on site. And what we are looking at is actually to go out there. The building official texted me during the meeting and said his architects are going to meet with us tomorrow to see if we could address some of the fines on the facility and how are they going to take care of it. That's what is set up immediately. You and I discussed working with the property owner in order to move the business forward and to ensure that the business remains in North Miami.
To come up with a stepwise approach.
A stepwise approach for them to come into compliance.
Exactly, and that's what we are working on. And as far as code enforcement and any other department, that needs to be there for you to
the building
schedule
department.
a meeting with them so that you can come up with some possible options.
Yes.
And steps that can be taken so that we can solve this problem. It's been going on for too long.
Yes.
Okay.
Judy Brown, excuse me, 1100 Northwest 120 Terrace. I'm coming for that track field. I'm not going away. I'm just like that. I'm going to be a bug or a thorn in your side. Because for 40 years, and I have articles from the paper that we were supposed to get that track field. What we got was unbelievable. It's no way, I don't know legally. I did contact my council person concerning this. Is it accessible with the ADA? Because I was walking this morning and we did have a lady with her son that was had a hearing, eyesight problem, and she was leading him. The track would have been a good thing, but she was out on that walkway, but she couldn't get into the path either, the walk path that was constructed for us. Also, I was led to believe that we were going to have like $63,000 for this or $68,000. And then somehow when it got to Parks and Rec or whoever was over it, it's like $52,000. And I ask over and over, and I'm not a person that comes and yell and scream. I ask, and my thing is phase one, just like the mayor said. And dealing with this cleaner, phase one. If you just come to me and say, okay, Ms. Brown, we only have this amount of money. I said, okay, let's go with phase one. We don't want a path that's wedged between a batting court, a baseball field, a basketball court that ends up at the tennis court. You can't even get a swift walk. It's ridiculous. We have 9.5 acres of land that's west of that Joe Celestine Center. But we have a seat at the table. We voted 64% to put him there. And if I have to pack this place to support him, we will, because we're not going to stop until we get what we want, because everybody come here and get what we want. And we spend money for parties, $10,000 in plaques. It needs to stop. We are important. Our kids can't swim in the pool. We can't walk around the track. Come on, guys. We just been disrespected for years and years and years. We care about North Miami. I live here. I don't drive out and come in every day. It's not fair. Thank you.
Ms. Brown, I promise you this, as long as I'm over here, that it's not going to happen. Yes, we do. Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
My name is Hector Medina. I live at 1270 Northeast 124th Street. In the last meeting, I understood that the city manager had the authority to withhold their permit, to withdraw it, their operational permit of the Spot Master Dry Cleaner. I don't have time to wait for more time for the architects and more. No, they cannot operate after 11. It's illegal. They cannot operate industrial machinery on tents without roof or walls. They cannot. I cannot watch TV in my house, in my living room at 9 a.m., at 9 p.m., or at 3 in the morning. This is your job. It's not my job. It is your job to be there at 2 in the morning taking pictures. I am tired. I'm tired of this. You have to make a determination. They are not in compliance. They're never in compliance because they're operating industrial machinery 24/7 without a roof. Electric plugs all over. The fire department just get them 11. 8 of them major fines. They have 30 days to correct it. But if you think the fire department and the disabled parking was the only cases under here, I'm not stopping with this. The 5 of you can withdraw the permit. The city manager, I understood that you were going to direct him or give him directive on how to do that. And that's what I expect. I don't have time to wait 1 more month, 2 more months. No, I have to start working in August. If I don't, I will lose my license. If I had to do that, there's going to be hell to be paid. So I need, what are you going to do with the permit? Are they due for permit this month? The renewals of permits are this month? That's my understanding.
Ms. Hill, it's your turn.
No, you didn't answer my question. I need to know.
Sir, you have the right to speak. We let you speak. We don't have to answer you. We hear what you said and you heard what I said.
So how about
Ms. Hill, would you please speak? Make your statement, please. You need to have a seat right now because we have to continue with the meeting.
You promised me the last time that there was a roll red tape.
I've already gave direction to I've already had a meeting with the manager. He's going to get together with code enforcement, building and zoning, the building official, and they are going to take steps necessary to resolve the issue.
It's been 9 months.
But it won't be another 9 months.
Thank you.
Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard. There's so much I could say right now, but I'm going to stay focused on what my neighborhood needs. I'm blown away by how tonight went, and not in a good way. But what I'm going to say on behalf of my neighborhood as president of the Know Me Neighbors Neighborhood Association is that when you guys are going to negotiate the budget this year, we want more police officers and we want more code enforcement officers, and we want more than just one of each, just like a token. We want more. We pay for a lot of stuff in the city. Our neighborhood was one of the highest property tax raising areas of the city, and that's what we want. We're here at the meetings. We're meeting on our own. We're organizing Crime Watch. We're doing all of these things to invest in North Miami. We're here to stay. We just showed up like yesterday, like in December, but you bet you're going to see us here every single time. But what we want is code officers and police officers. We'll come and speak on it, send letters, whatever it takes. But when you're negotiating the budget, I want you to remember that that's what we want, okay? So, thank you.
William Previtel, 11950 North Bayshore Drive. It's been a tough night. Even here in the crowd, it's been a tough night. I have a few items I'd like to give a few suggestions for your consideration. First, I realize that you voted to remove the red light cameras. I think the vote was much more to remove the penalties associated with red light cameras, that we do not want to burden the citizens with a fine. May I suggest that we do not know what the future will hold, that we keep the cameras in place for 3 or 6 months, either deactivate them, turn them off, do not monitor them, but keep them in place as a and find out the residual effect of them, because they do have the ability to calm the traffic and avoid accidents. If we remove them right now, we may find out that in 3 months you want to have them back in place because people are getting banged up left and right. That would not cost us anything. As a matter of fact, some of the cameras are part of the city of North Miami. Second item regarding MoCA and my comments earlier, Scott, I did say not just the council, but all of us. I think all of us let MoCA down. I think we really dropped the ball on that. And if you recall the night that some months back when the mayors had shown up on force and to support MoCA, I was astounded to find out, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we had about 30 board members on MoCA, about 30 of them. And to my understanding, I've asked this question now a dozen times, not one of them, were any of them, North Miami residents? And the answer I keep on getting is that not one of them were. And that is astounding. That basically we were looking the other way, and that's how we did crash. Right after that meeting, I contacted the council and requested the council, pleaded with the council to appoint the mayors, the former mayors, to be immediate board members because you weren't appointing board members. And we failed to do that. Then next step was we went into a lawsuit. We had no inside view of that, and it deteriorated from there. I'm asking you tonight to put forth that we have the mayors, the last mayor, plus 1 or 2 mayors from the past, become board members, automatic board members. When Mayor Smith-Joseph steps down at some point or is no longer in position, that he becomes a board member for MoCA. And the final thing is regarding the comp plan coming up on Monday. I hope that everybody can attend that. It's the council, it's the planning commission, and I'd like to ask our city manager to, that we might have graphic material. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, again, Judge Despinos 95, Notice 131. I don't like to walk out here by not saying the way I feel. This is the second time I seen the kind of activities, the way it's handled. Number one, that was with Mr. Puida, right on the floor, walk out in the condition where I believe should handle better. I understand the mayor, council really have two staff. The city attorney, they hire the city attorney and the manager. And sometimes, based on the charter, they don't have to have a proper cause to let them go. It's depending on how we get up on bed, how we feel, say you go, you go. But I will prefer the proper way. Because we are dealing with monster in our hand for many, many years. I understand the way some people feel about it. Those trip, money spent here, money given here and there. That's frustration. There's a lot of frustration. But even frustration sometimes, we have to find a better way to deal with it. Right now, everything in 77, and you get the Miami Herald, and I think this thing should be on the fourth floor, on the conference room, for all your guys to go after everything and try to understand exactly what is taking place, what's going on. Because I understand some of the staff are no longer with us.
Okay, we gotta get going.
So yes, we need to get going, but you know, we have to clear the air too. So I hope this doesn't, the perception doesn't roll over for a third time, because he was wrong with Mr. Puida. He's also wrong with the city attorney. Like Rosine said, if I was her, I'll take my bag and find the door a long time. I don't know why she's sitting here. Thank you.
Howard Tonkin, 12600 Griffin Boulevard. I bring you trees because I want this to be more happy and positive and moving forward and good things. So this is a Lignum vitae. It's one of the most rare trees in the world. It's extinct, actually, in the wild. It's the hardest wood in the world. It's called the tree of life. It's a kind of tree we should be planting. I wanted to give this to our city manager tonight. But not just because I want to give a tree and have a feel-good experience, because I want to start a conversation, but more than starting a conversation, I really want our city to plant trees. I bought my house 5 years ago. I've lived in this area for 14 years. I was fortunate enough to get my dream house. Like, I actually bought the house that's my dream house. And I'm not leaving my house. I'm definitely staying in North Miami, absolutely. But my business, Urban Habitat, that sustains endangered species within the urban environment, is doubling every year that I've been in business. I'm in my 4th year of business. So I'm about to look to open a store. But then my financial backer says, well, why North Miami? Well, I love North Miami, but guess what? That's not a good enough reason. Well, I'm like, well, we're the city on the move. Well, what's on the move? And so I'm pleading you, please start to plant trees, the proper trees, the way we're supposed to plant the trees, the way it's supposed to go. Because when I see a roundabout, a calming circle that had 3 foxtail palms, and then they got cut down and put 1 palm tree and some rocks, I want to cry. It's like, we need a canopy. We have the worst canopy of any city in North America. Do you understand that? The reason why it's so hot in North Miami is because we have a concrete jungle of a microclimate where it doesn't rain because the storms simply go around our city. But when it really rains, it really does rain. So please plant some trees so that I can say to my investor, I want to open my business in North Miami because we're the city on the move, instead of doing what we did tonight, because it doesn't look good. Thank you.
Okay. Mike McDermott, 840 Northeast 127th Street. First, congratulations and welcome Councilman Desilmay. I understand that there is a tremendous need all over this city. Sasso Park, the library. I mean, there's so many needs. And I certainly understand what happened with Mocha tonight. It was a do or die kind of situation. And believe me, besides the heat that you had here tonight, I really admire you and the staff here. I think the staff does a wonderful job, and I know that you guys really do from your heart what you think is best for the city. And I know sometimes it's really hard to address every problem. But the kids of this community are also very important, as several, Judy Brown and others have spoken. And PAL's a key ingredient of that. And I know that, thank you, City Manager, and thank you, Mayor, for your comments about PAL. We appreciate that very much. We don't know what impact it's going to have in dealing with the County Commission or the school board. But please sort of keep in the back of your minds as we move forward to try and somehow recapture that money for PAL, whether it's some of the money coming from Biscayne Landings or whatever. But please, let's just keep the kids in mind. Keep what this recreational facility / PAL building will do for the kids of this community. And somewhere down the line here, let's try and recapture that money for the kids. Thank you very much.
I know it's late. Natalie Kate, 12660 Northeast 4th Avenue. I'm not privy to most of the information in regard to what's going on with you guys, but big respect for staying there. I wouldn't have done. I'd be in tears and I would have got up and left. So I would just like to say that. I always feel Howard is the one to get up and talk about the trees and nature, and he gets a kind of rap for being this crazy conservationist that I feel nobody really listens to a lot of the time, which I don't think is fair. So I'd like to back Howard up here this evening and say that I'm on exactly the same page. And yes, the city has a lot of problems. We have educational needs, we have construction needs, we have all kinds of needs, but there is not going to be a North Miami or a planet if we don't start thinking about the bigger picture. And if we want our city to carry on growing and to actually save money in the long run with things like irrigation and workmen to maintain areas that, all kinds of things like that, then we need to be planting effectively, and we need to be doing it from an educated standpoint, and we're not. And I think that's a big, big shame. And I had about 6 other things that I wanted to say, but it's late, and I guess I'll stop there. Thank you so much.
Kennedy, 776 Northeast 125th. Regina, I want to wish you the best. Thank you for your friendship over the years. I really do. I wish you the best. Politics being politics. To the council, Mayor, first of all, I came here tonight to congratulate Alex Desume and thank you for making democracy work. That's what it was all about this past election. I congratulate you. I once called you a man of all seasons. You certainly are. Thank you. Mayor, you enlightened me tonight and you said something very profound, and I appreciate that, is that we don't want this city to get its income on the backs of our people. And I agree with that, on the fines. You kind of gave me a little broader perspective on those cameras, although I still think they're, never mind that nonsense now. Councilwoman Keys is correct. I very seldom agree with her. This is a miracle tonight, but there's one other thing I do agree with her on, and it's the annexation issue. And I was out of town when that went before the County Planning Commission, and I would say to you unequivocally tonight, we have to stand up and be counted. We cannot be pushed around. That makes no sense to give that area to Biscayne Park. I am telling you, as a police officer for 33 years, that's unconscionable, absolutely unconscionable. I spoke to my predecessors. I haven't spoken to James Devaney tonight, but I did speak to Tom Flom. He feels the same way. I am the past president of the Dade County Chiefs of Police. I'm not a little pebble in the pond, and I'm telling you that is a grave mistake from a public safety point. And I love Sally Hayman, but I disagree with what she did. And I like to see the county commissioner, when our chairman, when I get down there next week. And I think we should do everything within our power to stand our guns and fight that. I honestly think that's wrong. Again, thank you. It's been a rough night. This is democracy, and I appreciate the job that the five of you are doing. City manager, he needs an assistant. Government does not get built in a day or two. He inherited a nest, and he needs some assistance. And I think I've seen, if I just may have him on one moment, I've seen a big change in how we do business on the CRA. And it's not going to happen overnight, guys. It's just, I mean, the city was all over the place. And, you know, maybe
right.
just consider giving him give him an assistant, please.
All right, thank you very much. And Citizen Forum is now closed. We are going to the city clerk for some board appointments.
I know it's extremely late, Mayor, but regarding two boards, this is extremely important, and I think we oversaw this. As you know, the city manager's office is responsible for the administration of the boards, and as everyone stated, he's basically by himself, and we are kind of in a lot of trouble here, and this is why. Last year, the council passed an ordinance that made it clear, and I'm just going to read what the ordinance, of a small portion. The term of those board members appointed by the individual council members shall be coterminous with the appointing elected officials' term of office. The term of those board members appointed by the city council as a whole shall be coterminous with the mayor's term of office. So two important boards, the Board of Adjustments and the Personnel Board. Councilman Galvin, you're starting all over, so all your appointments need to be remade. Councilman Desiree, all your appointments need to be made. Mayor Joseph, although you made some appointments a couple of months ago when you came in during the special election, this is a new term now, so you have to make appointments as well. And every single at-large appointment needs to be remade because it goes coterminous with that of the mayor. So from what I understand, the Planning Commission has a couple of important meetings coming up, and we are in recess. So all credit due to Councilwoman Keys and Stephanie Kenzel, and of course Aline Ghani. They basically said, Michael, get on top of this. Let's see if we can do what we can do to fix it. And
Or Stephanie Thomas, you know, same.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Stephanie
Freudian.
Thomas. Oh, that's so bad. I'm so sorry. Okay, so regarding.
By the way, you just made her blog by 8 a.m.
Sorry. So she has a blog? Okay, so what we have to do now regarding the Board of Adjustment and the personnel we have to refill. So we do have three appointments that needs to be made for the Planning Commission. I'm sorry, the Planning Commission is extremely important. And everything else we'll take care of in the future. So with regards to the Planning Commission, I'm going to read out the appointments as a whole, and I'll ask for a motion in a second. The first appointment that's being made, for the record, Councilman Desiree already made his appointment, and that was Kevin Schieffer. So
Siegfried.
Siegfried. He is on the board as of now. Councilman Desiree made his appointment. Right now, Councilman Galvin wants to reappoint Jason James. Councilman Bieneme, your appointee, Emmanuel Genti, he is still on the Planning Commission. At this time, the council has an open at-large, which was Kenneth Each. He's the current Planning Commission that is at-large, which is Kenneth Each. At this moment, the council needs to reappoint him because his term have expired. Because
Any of us can?
anyone can.
I appoint him.
Okay, so
Second.
count. Oh, no, we'll get a motion in a second. So at this time, the first at-large, Kenneth Each, will continue to be on the Planning Commission. Mayor Joseph would like to reappoint Peggy Bull to the Planning Commission. At this time, Vice Mayor Keys, who gets to make an appointment because her current appointment expires June 2015. So her appointment, she's going to replace Bill Prevotel and appoint Bob Pichon to the Planning Commission. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that well. And the second at-large appointment is an appointment to appoint by Alex Desiree Charles Ernest, which is replacing Daniel Calix, to the Planning Commission. And the current at-large alternate that we currently have on here is Mary Irvin and Michael McDermott. And these are the two at-large alternate that we have in addition to the names that I just listed. Do any council member or mayor would like to appoint Mary Irvin and Michael McDermott to continue being the at-large alternates?
So moved.
Okay, so at this moment, I need a motion and a second. The motion is,
He's second.
so the motion is made by Councilman Galvin, and it is seconded by Councilman Bieneme. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So this item was passed 5-0. Now, if you have any questions regarding who's currently on the Planning Commission, you can contact the Office of the Manager or my office, and we'll have the names. Now, the second important board that we have to address is the Board of Adjustments. At this time, Councilwoman Carol Keys would like to reappoint Holly Cohen. Councilwoman Sterrielli, well, she had appointed Michael McDermott. Now, Councilman Desiree would have to make an appointment. Would you like to reappoint Michael McDermott, Mr. Desiree?
Yes, sir.
So Michael McDermott will be reappointed by Councilman Desiree. The alternate was Laura Hill. Again, alternate was Laura Hill. Would we like to keep her as an alternate? Any members of the council?
Yes.
I'm the one I appointed her.
So you got it. She will remain as an alternate. Mayor Joseph, you appointed Daniel Calix. Would you like to remove Daniel Calix?
I believe he no longer wants to be.
He no longer wants to be on the board. We haven't received
Which
a letter,
board is this?
you don't have to reappoint. This is the Board of Adjustment, very important board. So I'll let you take your time to figure out who you want to appoint.
He sent an email to that effect.
Okay. So Councilman Galvin, would you like to reappoint Dottie Joseph?
Yes.
Dottie Joseph has been reappointed, and an at-large appointment was by Vice Mayor Keys. Would you like to reappoint Rosaline Phillip?
Yes, I would, please.
Okay, so at this time, Mayor, you have an at-large Peggy Boulay. Would you like to reappoint Peggy Boulay as an at-large?
That's fine.
Okay, so now, all we need to do, Mayor, we need your choice, because Councilman Bieneme, your appointment is still there, which is Donna Magloire. And then, would anyone like to continue having Mary Irvin as an alternate on the Board of Adjustment?
Yes.
Okay, she will remain as an alternate. So to complete the board, Mayor, we just need an appointment from you, the Board of Adjustment.
Can I ask you one question,
Can
sir?
can I do that tomorrow?
The problem is we have to do it during the council meeting because we need a vote in a second, and then we are on recess. And these boards are extremely important. That's why-
Mr. Clerk.
We have one more meeting.
We have one more meeting.
One more meeting.
We have one in July 14th.
Real quick, Mr. Clerk, is Rosalind Philippe on the Board of Adjustment?
Yes,
She
Mayor.
is, okay, and she's and she's on, right?
I'll give you my name tomorrow.
Okay, so at this time, with the names, with the exception of Mayor Joseph, he's going to give me his name for next council meeting. May I have a motion to approve the names for the Board of Adjustment?
So moved.
Yes.
May I have a second?
Yes.
Motion was made by Councilwoman Keys, and it was seconded by Mayor Joseph. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Item passes 4-1.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No,
The
I'm
item
sorry.
passes 5-0. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's it.
Mayor, if I might, through the mayor, I was requested to appoint Soraya Trujillo to the Quality Education Board. They really needed an appointment, which is why I made it last week and we were too busy, or too late. They don't have a quorum and they're not able to meet without.
You got it. I can do that right now. So the Quality Education Board, Vice Mayor Keys would like to appoint Soraya Trujillo. Trujillo. May I have a motion to approve?
I move, he second.
Councilwoman Keys approved the motion to place Soraya on the Quality Education Board. It was seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes 4-0. Thank you, and that completes. Oh, so Mayor and Council, so that the public can see what we're doing. You're all gonna get a blank copy of all of this, which includes the names of all the current appointees to the board. It's gonna be emailed to you by someone from the Office of the Manager or Stephanie. All you have to do is fill this in. By next council meeting, we're gonna basically reappoint or appoint the individuals you want. So you're gonna get this email by tomorrow morning, and if you don't, you can fire me. So you will definitely get this email, okay? Thank you, Mayor. That'll conclude my report.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Let's proceed with the council reports. The Vice Mayor.
I have council reports. First of all, I want to thank our city attorney, Regine. You have been a good friend to me, and I appreciate all the hard work you've put in. For those out there, moving forward in a different direction is not easy. It's not something we can all discuss. It would never be pretty whether we discussed or not. It's not anything the manager could do. It will never be pretty because the city attorney is only appointed by the council. So it's going to be a council decision with or without discussion, and it's not something we can go outside and discuss. It seemed like it just sort of happened this evening, and but I do thank you, Regine. It's not a personal decision because I've grown to really, really enjoy our friendship. So I'm sick over it too, believe me. But it's the direction we're going. On that note, we don't seem to have any public service or events anymore at the beginning of our meeting, telling our citizens what's going on. So. This Saturday, we have an electronic waste recycling green awareness event. I'm very happy about this event. All citizens are welcome to bring their electronic devices, TVs, cell phones, computers, keyboards, printers, light bulbs, batteries. We're going to be having sustainability programs, a lot of sponsors. It's going to be at Griffin Park this Saturday from 10 to 2. A lot of programs, so I really hope you'll all attend. It's the first of many, I hope, with our new sustainability team, and going further, we will get our citizens and all on board with us. So I'd like to invite you all to come to that. I do want to thank the Florida Immigrant Coalition and the Haitian Lawyers Association for partnering with me this past Saturday. We had a citizenship drive at the Gwen Margolis Center. We did have 200 residents come to apply for the citizenship from all different countries. It was really a fabulous event. It was coordinated with all these people waiting. It was a very peaceful event. Went very well, and we signed up a lot of people. So I wanted to report on that. And just lastly, tomorrow's lunch, Chamber of Commerce at Miami Shores Country Club, Ron Book will be giving us this legislative update, which is always a very well-attended event. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Nothing?
No reports.
All right, thank you very much. And City Clerk's report?
No report, Mayor.
No report. The City Attorney report?
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak, and it's been really a pleasure for me to work in this capacity for the past 3 years. So the reason I stayed is because I have a legal obligation and an ethical obligation to be the city attorney until, in case something comes up. And of course, I have to transfer and transmit whatever information I have to my deputy. I've been really proud of the work that I've done in the past 3 years, from revising the charter that hadn't been revised in over 30 years, to handling Biscayne Landing and Mocha, and filing the first foreclosures in the city that no one had done prior, to working with the code enforcement working with the Code Enforcement Department. To all of the directors, my friends, I wish you all the best. Stay strong and do the right thing always. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. You have anything,
Oh, I
Mr.
just
Man?
one more thing. So I just want to be very, very clear. So someone mentioned the end of the week, or some. So I
end
need
of
to
the
be
month.
the end of the month.
The end
Okay.
of the month.
All right. Thank you so much. I just wanted to make
Sure.
sure. Thank you.
I just want to remind everyone about the P3 luncheon that we have, the Mayor's Initiative at the Lexus. That's one of the announcements. And to reiterate, staff and I would be attending tomorrow the city's forum on redevelopment at the Intercontinental as part of the initiative, the Mayor's Initiative. Tanya, the Community Planning Manager, and the Chief of Staff and myself would be attending. It's Wednesday, Thursday, and half day on Friday. And with that, thank you very much, Regine. I really appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manager. I'm not finished yet. I haven't given my report. You don't want to hear my report? You guys sent me to San Francisco, remember? Well, you already got a report because you saw everything on Facebook. Yeah, I had the opportunity to go to San Francisco for 5 days, from Thursday, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche, for 4 days. Actually, it was a very great experience. I went to the winter one in January in Washington, D.C., but this is by far a much better venue in the sense that there are more mayors, as a matter of fact, in that event. And I was actually, I did choose to join 2 committees, one of them being the community development. And there's a lot of tons of information in that committee, and that's where you get information about CDBG grants and so forth. There is a lot of opportunity for municipalities to apply for grants, and I wish that my grant, well, not my grant, our grant writing person was actually there. Yeah, but I did get my hands on some of pamphlets and information so we can use in our city. And the other committee that I got into is International Affairs Committee. Actually, there was a very good point that they brought in. The actually U.S. Conference of Mayors came with a resolution, and we approved it unanimously, where there is a lot of accusations about 2 airline carriers. One is Qatar, the other one is United Arab Emirates. You know, the Emirates, they're being accused of their governments giving them subsidies in the over $40 billion in the past few years, giving them an unfair advantage to our local national carriers. So we voted on a resolution, and we're going to send it to the to Congress for them to consider opening an investigation to see whether those alleged accusations are actually true. So, and of course, the other event that you just mentioned is June 26th, where we're going to have our second quarterly business luncheon as part of the Mayor's initiative, where we're going to have some P3 companies, well, not P3 companies, some companies that are very big in P3s, and they're going to discuss possibilities of the city joining forces with the private sector and bringing this city of ours in a new level. That's all I have to say. And Madam Attorney, for the past few months, 7 months that I've been working with you, it's been a very good relationship. And of course, for the people who may not know, we do live, we are operating under the Sunshine Law. These decisions cannot be taken behind closed doors. If there is something to bring up as a discussion item, it can only be heard here. No 2 council members, can actually confer on any item. And this is where the council conducts business of the city, and it cannot be done behind the curtain. So, but that does not refute the actual fact that I've enjoyed working with the Madam Attorney, and I'm sure that the relationship will continue. And this is the city of North Miami, not the business of any particular person. Thank you very much. Motion to adjourn.